to the God is a Geek podcast, your new favourite podcast about video games, massive amounts of speculation around FIFA holding their presidential election on Friday, Sepp Blatter getting another term on top as expected, and Sepp Blatter stepping down on the Tuesday. I am your host, Colm Ahern, and with me this week is the excellence of esports. It's Mike Stubbsy.
Hello, Colm.
How are you?
I'm good today, Colm. How are you?
I'm brilliant. Because I'm trying to think, how did I do it last week? Yeah, okay. Alright. It's the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour. What you see is what you get, and what you don't is better yet. He's the women's pick, the men's regret. And if you gamble against him, you made a bad bet. Now it's Nailz! It's Dan Naylor!
Hello, Colm. How you doing?
I'm alright, Nailz. I was just trying to think. I was like, yeah, I really dragged it out last week, so I'm going to go fucking hell for leather, just as we are going to do with this podcast. Lads, there's no messing around, because I want to talk more about The Witcher 3. But before we talk about that, I want to talk about Massive Chalice very briefly. Have either of you ever played XCOM? Oh, Jesus, I can't remember.
Unknown.
Enemy Unknown, that's it. Have either of you played that before? Yes.
Yeah.
That's what Massive Chalice is. Alright? It's like that, but a bit more Double Finey with like personality and stuff. That's basically Massive Chalice. Right, Nailz, you played Rock Band 4. Tell me, what's going on? What's the story with Rock Band 4?
Well, if you've played a Rock Band game before, or indeed a Guitar Hero game before, you know exactly what to expect. You hit notes at the same time as they come up on a screen, and you do it in time to your favourite kind of music from a selection of various things. Of course, this one comes in with all the previous DLC coming straight over. It's about a library of 1,500 songs just coming straight in out of the gate that you can pick up and play, as well as the ones on the disc. So it's pretty cool. Didn't get to use the new instruments. It was a showcase with some of the old instruments, but that's Rock Band 4.
Cool, right. The Witcher. Sadly, no. This is snappy. We're just trying to be snappy here this week, right?
Yeah.
I didn't get to play The Witcher this week, which really upsets me because I was loving it. No, Nailz, before we get on to you, because it was last week we were talking about it. So yeah, it was, well actually, this is the third straight week, I think, because first week Adam was talking about it, then Murph, me, you, Nailz. Now Stubbsy, you are new to the Witcher fold. Well, as in our podcast fold. You haven't let us know what you think of The Witcher 3 yet. Have you history with The Witcher, first of all?
Kind of.
You played a little bit of 2, is it?
No, I played like the first hour of 1 on PC. But this was like just in January because someone bought me it for Christmas. I played like an hour of it and didn't get on with it. The combat was really weird. Like, on PC, you had to press a button to ready and then release it to attack or some crap like that. So, didn't like it, bounced off it. Was going to try 2 before 3 came out, but Dota, so didn't. And then 3 came out, everyone was like, oh my god, it's amazing. So I thought, yeah, I'll give it a go.
And?
I like it so far. I'm probably only about 5 or 6 hours in.
What a noob, Nailz. Listen to this fucking noob.
But yeah, I'm really liking it so far. I kind of don't know if I'm just not far enough into the game to understand it properly yet, but the whole, like, alchemy rubbish, I don't really see. It doesn't interest me, and I don't see the point too much of it. But I assume that could become more important later on.
I say noob. I say that in jest because I'm, like, as I was last week, I'm about 9.5 hours into it. I haven't gotten a chance to play it, sadly. But, try and be sort of vague. Are you still in the first area?
No, I've literally just got to the second area.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the alchemy and stuff, it does serve a purpose because you will come across, I mean, like your bestiary, like in there it'll tell you, like, for, I don't know, use, I can't remember the names of the oils. What's the one for, like, the ghosts? Spectre oil, and there's, like, there's Spectre oil, there's Necrophage oil, isn't there? All these kind of things. The potions and stuff. Well, I suppose, yeah, that's what you're talking about. What do you mean when you say you don't really, like, get it?
like, I don't really see the point of it all that much. I've managed to kill everything that I've come across so far without needing to do anything other than just hit it with my sword.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's meant to be 100 hours of a game or something, so I'd imagine the challenge will creep up as time goes on. But Nailz, now last week you came on the podcast and you said you hated The Witcher 3. You said it was the worst piece of shit that you ever played in your entire life.
That does sound like something I would say.
I'm going to guess that you're going to, on this podcast, say, I played more just to prove my point that it's the worst sack of shit of a game that you've ever played in your entire life.
I did play more. I wasn't trying to prove a point. I was just, I was giving it a fair trial. And I've actually warmed to it quite a bit. Yeah, like, I've gotten a bit further in and some stories have kind of opened up a little bit. I'm kind of finding the gameplay a bit more satisfying, some of the stories. I've still got niggles with it. People still try and pick fights, and it's like, come on, I'm a fucking Witcher.
Yes.
And yeah, like, there's almost too many things. I don't like the quest mechanic. Well, no, I do. I like the quest mechanic quite a lot, but there's almost too much to pick up by accident. Like, you look at a notice board and take some signs, and so I was like, I earlier today, I was doing a mission, and basically I was kind of wandering off after it, and I came across a werewolf, and I got the crap beaten out of me, and I had to leg it. So I legged it, went to a town, and there's a blacksmith, and so I go to the blacksmith, and I wander in, and it starts like a quest about me asking about someone, and I'm like, why are you doing this? I just wanted to get my weapons fixed. What's kind of going on? And it turns out that I'd picked up a note in like the next town like 3 hours ago saying, oh, talk to this person for advice about this missing person. I'm like, well, I don't care about that right now. I want to go kill that werewolf, but you're not letting me fix my equipment. So that was a bit of a pain in the ass. But to be honest, no, as a whole, it's improved greatly.
That I think, like, what you're saying is a fair point in that, like sometimes you're kind of even thinking too far ahead of the game. Do you know, like if you go into an area, like this happened to me where, did it? Or was it a fucking? Did I pick one up? One of the notices again? It was like I was just kind of on my horse, just kind of, I don't know, just going around Velen, which is the second area, and I was just kind of traveling around picking up plants and stuff, and I went into one area and it was like activated quest, like, and it was like, what the fuck is happening here? And it was I'm actually sure it was something kind of similar to that, where I just went to a notice board and just went like, take. Right, okay, I'll look at you later. It's just I want to have you on the back burner so that I can go to you when I so wish. But so you're getting on with this a little bit more because you said because the story, is it? Because the story.
I can't remember where I was up to last week when we spoke about it in the story. I'm a little bit further on from that point. Not a lot. I've been doing some side quest stuff because that's the thing that's improved since last week. I found more side quest stuff that's my level now.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Basically, after the podcast, I went and did some more main missions, and it took me quite far. Like, I gained like 3 levels, like within a mission, and suddenly all the missions, the side quests around me, I could do, and any ones I was picking up, I could do. So suddenly it felt like there was stuff in the world that I could do, because that was my problem last time. It was that there was a lot of stuff, and it was like, oh, here's a mission, but you've got to be level 7, and I'm like, oh, I'm level 3. Like, I can't do that. So it's improved in that way for me as a whole. But no, I am going to sink more time into it now. I can see myself this time next week. I'll be in love with it. So,
and Stubbsy, so you're 6 hours in. You played an hour of The Witcher, the original Witcher, and didn't get on with it because of the combat. How are you finding the combat in this?
The combat's better, but it's still not overly entertaining. It is very much just sort of your standard RPG, whack a button, hit someone, and then if it's like a man with a sword, just counter him.
Right. If I was to play devil's advocate, what about like using your signs and like are you running the gambit in terms of your signs, or are you just say using Igni all the time?
I just use Igni most of the time, unless I was fighting a werewolf the other day, and because he like
as you do
whacks the hell out of you, I used the one, I can't remember what it's called, where it gives you like a shield that blocks a couple of hits.
Yeah.
And that sort of made that easier because you can just stand there and smack him while he hits you and take no damage. But yeah, I am sort of, at the minute, it does feel like all I really need to do is just occasionally burn them with Igni and then whack them with a sword. But it's definitely better than The Witcher 1.
10 out of 10.
Like,
burn them and whack them with a sword.
The Witcher 1 was awful. Like, the combat, I can't remember exactly how it worked, but there was at least 2, if not 3 button presses that you have to make to actually hit someone with a sword, and you have to do timing and all that crap, and it wasn't conducive to a fun gameplay environment.
So you prefer the kind of... So, like, because I never played the original Witcher, so I can only kind of speak for the combat in the second one. But the second one and the third are fairly similar, if not the same. I'm trying to think. Maybe it is kind of... But so you kind of prefer the more kind of direct approach of... Well, you see, yeah, like, are you saying you prefer the kind of button mashiness? Or... Because The Witcher sounds like a more complex kind of a system.
Like, I do prefer The Witcher 3 because it's easier and you don't... Like, the combat is easier, not necessarily the game. Yeah. It's easier to perform and it doesn't require so much, like, menial work that isn't really necessary like it did in The Witcher 1. But at the same time, I imagine, like, 40 hours of just whacking people with a sword. It's going to get a bit tiring. But that's just an estimation. I haven't obviously played that much.
Like, one thing that Adam said when, I think, was it in his review or when he came on the podcast, or both, that he found his time with The Witcher was kind of half and half in terms of, combat and just talking to people. Nailz, so you're a bit more into it. Have you found that kind of same type of thing where a lot of the game is just dialogue after dialogue, and are you a fan of that?
I am. I'm enjoying the dialogue more than the combat. I think the combat's fine and it's functional, but it does kind of amount to learning an enemy's attack patterns, dodging out the way when he attacks you, and then hacking him a couple of times, backing off, and kind of repeating. Whereas the dialogue, I think the dialogue at the start is what maybe why I find it quite hard to get into is I've heard that it, like a lot of your decisions come kind of back later in the game. Like Adam was talking the other week about the guards that he kind of didn't get in a fight with. He bought a round of drinks with them in a pub, and then later on they were guarding something and they let him in. Well, I think I've done that bit, and I chose a different option to him. So I'm wondering how that's going to play out for me. So I'm quite excited to see where these kind of entwining stories work. And so I'm putting quite a lot of thought into what I'm saying to people rather than just kind of, taking the aggressive and maybe getting my way stance each time. Because I think it'll pay off more later on. If it does, it'll be fantastic. If it doesn't, I'm going to be so pissed off. Because everyone will have lied to me. But I mean, I think it is almost a 50-50 split between talking and fighting, really. I think, I don't know about you. You've put in 9 hours yourself.
I kind of, in my relatively short time with the game, I find it similar, that it is in that regard that it is, you do find yourself kind of talking to NPCs quite a lot. I mean, with The Witcher 2, there was a lot of that too, but it seems to be more so in The Witcher 3, which I'm fine with because I enjoy Geralt as a character. I enjoy so far the people around him, and one thing that I loved in The Witcher 2 and in this is that there's no wrong answer as such. Like as Geralt, if there's a couple of lads in the pub and they're trying to kind of rough you up, if they're not having the bants with Geralt, then you can say, like, you might have two options. It might be like, lads, that's not top bants, go fuck yourselves. Or it might be the whole kind of like, lads, listen, we're just having a bit of banter here, do you want a drink? And again, it's not like Mass Effect where it's like, here's the Paragon option, buy them a drink. Here's the Renegade option, tell them to fuck off. Or like Infamous where it's like, here's the blue bit if you want to be good, or the red bit, it's bad. It's like The Witcher is just say what you want. Like say what makes the most sense for Geralt in this situation, or what you would say, or just do whatever you want, and I suppose, as you said, Nailz, there are repercussions for what you say. Now, again, because I suppose all of us are relatively, a short time into the game, we can't speak for how much that will affect things later on. But like what I'm led to believe by reading people's reviews, hearing other people talk about it and stuff, it seems that like an awful lot of your decisions will have a great effect as you kind of progress through the game, which is really cool. You know, like to make, I suppose it creates that kind of thing where, say, the three of us can be talking about coming to the same instance of The Witcher 3, but by the sounds of it, we could all have completely different outcomes, which is just, I just think it's so cool. And I mean, yeah, if I hadn't have been so busy this week, I would have gladly played a bit more The Witcher 3. Calvin's Movie Minutes. Do you know what I'm most excited to talk about this week?
I think I can guess.
Is Game of Thrones. No. That's basically the rest of the podcast, whatever. It was all a rush to get to talk about Game of Thrones. Is everyone up to date, first of all?
Yes.
Yeah, I am.
No. Nailz, I'm going to leave this in your capable hands. How far do we push this in terms of spoilers? Fuck 'em, says Nailz.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'd say. You know, fuck 'em and bring it if you've got a problem.
Right.
Address your complaints to Colm at PO Box.
Look, if just forward a bit, all right? If you don't want to hear about Game of Thrones, we'll talk about it for the next. Hang on, I'm just watching my thing here. We'll talk about it for the next, I don't know, 2.5 minutes. Oh, I can't be arsed timing it, lads. The White Walkers.
Oh, I know. It was quite cool, wasn't it?
It was
Jesus,
fucking
their graphics
amazing.
budget has gone up.
Yeah, it really has. It just because I mean, Jon Snow and the beardy man that I can't think of his name, the King of the Wildlings, heading off to the Wildlings and basically trying to rally up the troops. It's like, look, we can't do this alone. We have to band together to take on the White Wall. Oh shit, they're here! It was unbelievable. I mean, maybe I was just too wrapped up in what was happening in the episode that I didn't fucking telegraph it coming, but I genuinely didn't see that coming. Because it's normally like, that was episode 9, it's normally like the second last episode is the big battle. And maybe there will be, maybe that was only kind of a bit of a teaser for what's going to happen in the next episode. But I just did not see that coming. I don't know about you, Stubbsy.
Yeah, I mean, I was really bad this week. Usually when I watch Game of Thrones, I sit down and that's the only thing that I would do. But this week I was on my laptop trying to get some work done at the same time, sort of in and out kind of watching it.
You were playing Dota, weren't you?
Maybe.
Get some work done, right.
Yeah, whenever I say I'm working, just imagine me playing Dota, and that's pretty much what I'm doing. But yeah, I wasn't watching it like properly, and then I kind of got what was happening with the whole Jon Snow going there sort of thing, and then all of a sudden it all like kicks off, and I'm just like, shit, I missed something pretty big here. So I had to go back and rewatch the episode properly. So yeah, it was quite good actually. It was really entertaining, and it was really well done. Like that final section, I don't think there was really anything that they did wrong that I saw on watching it twice.
It was creepy as fucking places.
Like in terms of what?
Well, the children.
Oh Jesus! Yeah, that was fucking incredibly creepy.
Oh, and when the cliff bit and they're all down and then up again, it's just like what? Yeah.
And like the King White Walker, whatever, like he looks so fucking cool, actually, totally badass. But like just basically standing there and all the moaning, and then just puts out his arms and just raises them up, and it's just silence, and all you hear is just the bodies kind of raising from their fucking just on the ground, and it's seeing all of them, all their eyes turn into a beautiful blue eyes. It was just like, this is just the best TV show ever. It was so fucking brilliant. What else happened?
Well, how about John? And he killed one of them.
Oh fucking Jesus! Yeah, holy shit!
And there's so many theories as to why. It's amazing. I don't know how much you guys are into it, so I'm not going to say anything. Well,
his sword is
Valyrian steel.
Valyrian, that's it, Valyrian steel. And as far as I know, the only other person who has Valyrian steel is Jaime, isn't it? Because do you remember?
Brienne has technically got a Valyrian sword.
Oh, right. Okay.
And someone else. I can't think who.
So, like, obviously, yeah, that was... Because I won't lie to you, like, as Game of Thrones has taught us, which is brilliant because you... like, in situations like that episode, I was watching it going, Jon Snow is gone. He is actually... This is it. This is it for the beautiful Kit Harington. He is going to be written off the show because he's dead. That he can't do anything because he doesn't have the fucking dragon glass. It's in the building that's on fire. And then he just shatters the White Walker. It was fucking brilliant. And as you say, just opens up the fan theories to no end. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? Another time... Do you know one man I actually fear for is Tyrion. I feel like Tyrion is going to be killed off in such a non-eventful way. Like,
I'm not sure. I think there's 3 characters that need to be kind of that are going to make it to the end. Okay. I think he's one of them.
Who else? Daenerys?
I think Jon and Daenerys. I think they're the 3 who can't be killed off.
I feel like Daenerys is the woman who sits on the throne at the end of it. I mean, like if we're talking, let's pretend this is real life. Like she has, like the amount of men fucking behind her is unbelievable. It's insurmountable. The amount of fucking warriors that she has. No, she is a decent amount away from King's Landing, to be fair as well.
She needs to get them there. That's the problem. Over the water. I think. I mean, yeah, it's weird because it's gone very different to the books. Very different to the books. Yeah. Well, a lot of the storylines have run out in the books, like at the end of last season. So
what are we watching now that's new?
Well, that's the thing. I don't like.
Or is it dodgy to say?
It's kind of dodgy to say. There's like, I'm trying to think, but pretty much like all the Sansa stuff, I think, is new.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, like
the stuff
in the
with
books,
Ramsay?
she gets left in the. She's in the Eyrie in the books, I think.
Okay.
And just like little bits like that. All the King's Landing stuff as of now is basically just new. As well.
The stuff with Cersei in...
Well, from now is
okay,
new, if
right.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but 'cause I saw something today about George R.R. Martin kind of basically saying that he's going to do anything he can to finish this, what would be the 6th book, yeah, it would, wouldn't it? Before the next season of Game of Thrones airs, which is, I mean, I suppose nobody knows exactly how far along he is into it, but there is going to come a point, because even if he gets the 6th book out, so like the next series of Game of Thrones is going to be starting again. It's normally like January, isn't it? January, February of next year, and even if he gets the 6th book out, he's not going to get the fucking 7th book out before the next season. So, like, even if there are some kind of differences here and there now in the series, like, there is going to come a point where, what are the 2 lads called? What are the DB Voice, isn't it? And something else. I don't know.
The writers, yeah.
Like, there is going to come a point where they are just going to have to basically kind of veer away from what the books are, unless, I suppose... like, I can't imagine Martin giving away the ending to them, so that, like...
Oh, apparently he's already told them how it ends. He told them at the start how he sees it ending.
Oh, okay.
Apparently. I don't know how much detail he gave them. But, I mean, there's some storylines that have changed already from what they are in the books.
Right.
I don't want to give too much detail.
Yeah.
But some have quite drastically changed. Like...
Give us a character.
The thing is, there's like the Ramsay story plays out slightly differently,
right?
But where that it's almost been bits. Something's been like kind of it's been melded with another storyline.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Obviously it's been melded with the Sansa storyline in the TV show. So it's like, well, the books are gonna do one thing and now this is going to do something else. because there's no way that the book storylines can be reconciled to the same point as the TV shows now.
So I'm going to guess that you're up to date on the book, so as well, are you?
Yeah.
And are you one of these pricks that says, "Oh, the book is way better"?
Oh God, no! I much prefer the
really?
the TV show. Yeah. Well, I've not actually read all the books. I must admit.
Okay.
I've looked up what happens to every character afterwards because I found the books laborious reading. They get halfway through the third one, and basically just went, "No, fuck it, I'm not doing this."
Is it because does he go on for? Is he a very indulgent writer? Does he go on for about 4 pages about how the horizon looks amazing?
He does. Well, no, it's not as bad as like Tolkien because I can't stand them either. Like Lord of the Rings, but it's not. I don't know, parts of it that aren't interesting or not that well written. And Feast for Crows, the 4th book.
Yeah,
that's basically takes place at the same time as the previous book, but it's all the characters you don't care about.
Oh. Okay.
Because it's written from points of view, so it's all new kind of points of view characters in that book, but it's at the same time as the 3rd one, and it's like, well, I don't care about them. That's why you didn't put them in the first, in the 3rd book. So I knew that was coming. I was like, well, I'm not bothering reading that, so I'm not going to read the next one. So I may not even bother finishing this one. I'll just read up on it all anyway.
Will you bother with the new Fallout, Nailz? Because this brings us on to our talking point this week. Because other than XCOM, which was quite a large announcement in itself, we got the announcement as Hellboy himself, Ron Perlman, said, War never changes. Fallout 4 is officially announced. Now, I think it's weird that they've officially announced this before their little E3 show, unless, of course, they are going to show maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes of footage or something like that, 10 minutes of gameplay at E3, then maybe you go, okay, I understand why you did the trailer. But Nailz, because Nailz, you are the Fallout man here, right? So Stubbsy, first of all, were you able to take yourself away from Dota for 3 minutes and 5 seconds, or however long the trailer is, to actually see the trailer?
I was.
Okay. As someone, because the two of us are in the same boat here, I own Fallout 3 and New Vegas, and I've never played them, because that's what you do when you're a member of the Master Race. But Stubbsy, as a man who has never played a Fallout game before, what did you think of the trailer first off?
I have technically put about 7 hours into New Vegas, but this was years ago when I was a child and bounced off it.
When you were a child, right? Well,
I was like 13, 14 when it came out, I'm guessing. So,
and that's probably like an 18s game, you mad bastard.
Yep, rebel.
Right, okay, well, you lied to me before the show, so you have played a Fallout game.
But I can't remember anything about it. All I know is that there was a little robot thing that kept following me. Kind of like Claptrap from Borderlands. I don't know if that's true or not, but...
Okay.
But that is true. I'll say pitching with that there.
Quiet you. Right, Stubbsy, okay. So what did you think of the trailer?
It looks like what I imagine Fallout to be anyway. I mean, I assume it looks better than Fallout 3 in New Vegas did. Just looks like Fallout. Like more Fallout, which I guess is not a particularly bad thing because people seem to really like Fallout. But I can offer very little constructive feedback on it.
Brilliant, right, Nailz. You saw the trailer as well, I'm guessing. You must have watched it about 14 times because you fucking love Fallout, don't you?
I never said that. No, I am a fan. I am a fan of the Fallout games. As far as Bethesda games go, I much prefer the Elder Scrolls, just because I prefer fantasy type stuff than post-apocalyptic. But yeah, like the trailer was pretty cool. It kind of started with the same old line and drew back to the wasteland that you're going to play through. And it was pretty exciting. I think it's what everyone's been waiting for years. And I mean, I agree with you. It's a bloody weird way of showing it. Because this is the first time Bethesda are going to have done an E3 conference, and this was the only thing that we know of that they really had to show off new. Yeah. There's probably going to be some Elder Scrolls Online stuff. And
that's what I see as well, Elder Scrolls Online. No, there is a slight possibility because it's 4 years. It'll be 4 years in November since Skyrim came out. So there's a slight possibility that they could announce Elder Scrolls 6, and that could be the big, oh, fucking hell moment. But I feel like this was kind of it. Even though we all knew about it, it would be kind of seeing it in action. No, so the trailer was, it was all in-engine stuff. And, I mean, the start of it was pretty cool, the way it was going from the, I suppose, pre to post-apocalyptic kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because, am I right in saying no other Fallout game has shown you what the world was like
not particularly. There's been a couple of like, you've been in like a simulation, and it's kind of like a computer program of what life was like before.
Okay.
But it's all like perfect 1950s kind of, Goodville, it'd be called, that kind of thing. So it's, not properly. So it'd be cool to see if you maybe could find out the reasons for the apocalypse, or there's some more kind of gameplay in it. One thing I saw someone noticed in the trailer, there's like a bar in the shot of the dark street. One of the bar names is what's it called? Memory something. God, I can't remember the name. That's awful. Memory something. And there's like, maybe you go there and you can like relive like the past or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
And living kind of like plug into a Matrix type thing. Maybe that's a mission. Maybe that's just a throwaway name. Who knows? But it'd be cool if they could go back and see what happened.
So like, I don't know, was there any other kind of fan theories or something like that kind of picked up on that you saw, or even you yourself might have seen something in the trailer and kind of equated it to maybe something in a previous Fallout game or anything?
Well, there's obviously the Brotherhood of Steel. The box art was also released, but that suit of armor, they're like kind of not humanity's protectors still, but they're kind of a faction in the Fallout universe. These big kind of metal power armored suits, so they're clearly going to be back in it. There's also the new vault is Vault 111, I think, because they've all got a vault name. And you saw your guy with his suit on. Looks like you're going to have a dog companion. That's kind of a running thing in the game. Oh, the
dog! Yeah, I forgot about the dog.
Yeah. Each kind of Fallout game has had a dog. I think normally called Dog Meat. I think.
Okay.
And that's a throwback from the first two games, where it can kind of be in a companion and join you. Also, looks like it takes place in Boston. There was a statue at one point of a guy on a horse. I don't know who it is, but apparently that's a famous statue in Boston.
Paul Revere.
Really?
I don't know. That came into my head. So again, like, I don't know if I've ever said this on the show, but all of my wrestling or all of my American like geography and stuff just comes from wrestling. And I think I remember Damien Sandow doing a Paul Revere thing in Boston. So just let me check. Paul Revere, Boston. The Boston Massacre is probably him. I'm going to go with that.
Well done.
Possibly. Like this, like, see, a lot of this, I suppose, was like Kotaku did a report on it. I'd say it's nearly a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago at this stage, where I think it was the first couple of pages of the script were revealed. Well, not revealed, they were leaked. And it was like, it was said to be in Boston. It was Ron Perlman was attached to it, which we found out to be true as well. I'm trying to think what else was there. But yeah, a lot of it kind of has come to pass, it kind of seems. But like, Liam Neeson was in 3, right? I just want to ask you one question, because Liam Neeson was in 3, but am I right in saying like Liam Neeson is only in it for the first hour or two?
Oh God, I can't remember how 3 ends. No, I think he's in it for the first maybe half an hour.
And then comes back.
But then the whole reason you leave your vault, he's your dad in the game, and the whole reason you leave the vault that you've been brought up in is because he's gone missing.
Oh, okay.
And he's basically fled the vault. Because he's a scientist who wants to kind of save the world. So you spend the game looking for him. I can't remember if you ever find him. I think you do.
Right. Because, I mean, so some people kind of saying like, oh, do you know, it's a cool kind of celebrity voice to be... But I mean... Perlman is probably going to do the exact same thing, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's like Patrick Stewart in Elder Scrolls Oblivion.
Yeah.
And he's in it for the first 5 minutes, and then that's it.
The Fallout... But Bethesda open world games, I don't think they've ever looked amazing. Skyrim, I suppose, is your latest example, and... I suppose, maybe I'm being a bit unfair. On like a shit hot PC, with everything pumped up to ultra. Skyrim, it can look pretty nice, I suppose. But like if you go back to the old Fallout, well, I suppose the previous two, New Vegas and 3, I mean, they're not great looking games. And I don't, even though some people are saying, come on, I mean, this trailer, it's all in engine. Let's give him some mad props for that. And it's like, all right, okay, it's not all CG and shit, but I didn't think it looked fantastic.
No, I'd agree. I think it's the same engine, so that's the Skyrim engine, which itself is a modified version of the Oblivion engine that Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas ran in. Now, it was pretty heavily modified for Skyrim, so I imagine it's been heavily modified again to look as good as it does, but it's always been kind of crap at faces and people walk really weirdly. It's never been so great at that kind of thing. Like long distance environments can be quite pretty. They're kind of the best bits in like Skyrim. But yeah, they've never looked good. And I mean, that engine will now be. Well, Oblivion was 2007, I think, and it probably must have been worked on for about 2 years before that. So it's an engine that's getting on for 10 years old now. Mm-hmm. Which, especially on new gen, this was their chance to kind of come out and show what it could do, particularly given that it looks like it's only on next gen and PC from the pre-orders. I mean, there was a rumour the day before when the announcement trailer came out that someone had spotted like a PS3 and Xbox 360 listing. That doesn't look like it's true. So why they couldn't have maybe built a new engine for it, I don't know. But they should get props for showing an in-engine trailer, though. I don't think you can take that away from them. No, but it's like it just. I mean, I was, to be fair, I was expecting it to look. I was expecting it to look a bit nicer when I saw the trailer. Like as you say, some of the environments do look well, but like it really kind of hammered home the point when you see who I'm guessing is your character at the very end. Although he spoke, didn't he? And you don't. He did speak. You haven't traditionally spoken, but maybe they'll stick one in. Because the other thing you got to remember is you can make your character in the Fallout games. So you can be a man, a woman, design the face and all that kind of thing. So that was maybe just a generic kind of placeholder guy.
Yeah. So there's also a few rumours kind of floating around about this coming out this year.
Yeah, there are. I think there was a pre-order code or something that if you use before October, you could get. Again, I saw this elsewhere, not in the trailer. I think that could be true, given that they've shown an in-engine trailer. I don't think you maybe have as much confidence in your engine if it was still a year and a half away from release.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because if it's not this year, I couldn't see it before next summer. I don't think this is a game that's going to come out in the first quarter type of thing.
Well, like if you look at the announcement of Fallout, like say Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, the games themselves have come out less than a year after announcement. It's like,
oh really?
Yeah, it's kind of generally like, probably about, I don't know, 8 or 9, maybe 10 months after kind of being announced. So I think that there's a possibility this could come maybe Q1 of next year. Now, if it is, it would be a big deal if they came out at E3, showed off gameplay, like even finished their conference with showing off gameplay of Fallout 4, wowing the audience and everyone watching at home, hopefully, and then saying, oh, by the way, it's out on October 10th or whatever. Like, that would be pretty impressive because, I mean, you have to think as well, this must be in development with fucking years and years. Like, New Vegas wasn't the same studio. That was a different studio. Oh, fuck it, you're right. New Vegas was Obsidian. Yeah. So, like, I mean, so Fallout 3, that was 2008?
2008. So even if the same team were working on, like, for part of that on Skyrim, they've still had a good 4 years. Yeah,
so, I mean, I think the possibility of it coming out this year is, I'd definitely be hopeful for that. But, Nailz, as the Fallout man, I'll give you the last word on Fallout 4 and I suppose your hopes for it.
Oh, I thought you were going to ask me a question. I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be pretty damn good. It's not going to be the best looking game on this generation. There's no chance. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to look awful. And I think the reason they've been so confident in putting out a gameplay trailer, even though it doesn't look, the absolute best of any game ever, is because they know how hyped it is. And hopefully, because they know the weight of pressure on this game, it's going to have to be fantastic. Because, like you say, Fallout 3 was that 2008?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been 8 years, basically. The people have been waiting for this game.
You were almost a Jill sandwich.
Metal Gear.
It's me, Mario.
Do a barrel roll.
Oh, this is space. I'm in space.
Hail to the king, baby.
Stubbsy, you can wake up now.
Yay.
Because it's time. Because, Nailz, you took on a new the challenger to your throne last week in Dan Murphy, and you were able to swat him down. But will you do the same with returning Mike Stubbsy? Now, Stubbsy, you haven't got one right yet, I believe.
Not on the podcast, although the Marcus Phoenix one you did with Adam, I got on the first question.
And the fucking I first appeared.
Yeah, it was 2006, and because Gears of War is the only game that I know that came out in 2006,
you went with Marcus Phoenix.
Marcus Phoenix, and it was right. I was amazed.
Well done. Well, we'll see how you get on this week, because it's time to play a game called Guess Who. And this is basically where I test the gaming knowledge of my fellow podders. For the uninitiated, it's pretty simple. I give 5 clues to the identity of a video game character, and you, in this case, Stubbsy and Nailz, must guess correctly. Now, when you think you have an answer, shout out your name and tell me what you're thinking, but be careful, as you only have 3 guesses. No looking up the answer, and to the victor go the spoils. Clue number 1. I first appeared in a video game in 1991. Clue number 2. It's long been rumoured that the music for one of my games was composed by Michael Jackson. Clue number 3. My series has sold over 80 million copies of various games across the years, making me one of the most iconic video game characters of...
Is it, Dan, is it Sonic?
Yes! Dan! Oh!
Was Sonic only 91? I thought Sonic was the 80s.
Sonic was 1991, yeah, because he was Sega's answer to Mario. Yeah, so I suppose to go through the clues and the ones that I haven't said yet. 1, it first appeared in a video game in 1991, of course, Sonic the Hedgehog. 2, it's long been rumoured, now I know there would be some people that would hear that and would kind of twig with them straight away. It's long been rumoured that the music for one of my games was composed by Michael Jackson.
See, I think I'd heard that, but I wasn't entirely sure.
That's Sonic 3, which it was rumoured that Sega had done a deal with Jackson, or I suppose his kind of representatives or whatever, but there was some falling out or whatever. And there's some great videos on YouTube, comparison videos comparing some of Jacko's tracks to the music from the game, and I mean, they're fucking as close as possible to watch. Do you know?
Really?
Yeah, they're fucking so close. My series has sold over 80 million copies. It's pretty fucking impressive. Bravo, Sonic. Clue number 4. At one stage, I was exclusive to a particular hardware manufacturer, but that isn't the case anymore. Of course, it's not. You can see Sonic on all of your favourite video game systems. And clue number 5. I fucking love chili dogs. And by Christ, he does.
Does he?
He does. He loves them so much.
Now that I've guessed his name, can we put a bullet in the back of his head and put him out of his misery?
Shut up, Nailz. Leave Sonic alone, in the words of Chris Crocker.
Christ, no, just kill him.
Oh, don't get me wrong. If I grew up at a time where Sonic he wasn't in my life, if I grew up at a different time period, I would think he's a complete dick. He's just total kind of 90s attitude,
No, that's not my problem. I like his original games I've played, and they're really good.
Oh, you're just saying the shite games.
The shite games now, they just need to just drop him. Just look, it's too far gone to be repaired.
It's never too far gone for Sonic. I believe in you, Sonic. You will come back to prominence and pick up a Game of the Year award from God is Evil. I know you will.
If that ever happens, I will pay for a night's drinking for you.
Yes! Come on, Sonic! That just about does it for this week's episode. Thank you very much for listening. As we always do, we implore you to rate and review us on iTunes. And be sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And tell your friends, your family, your work colleagues, whomever, about the God of the Geek podcast. Just spread the word, please, because we don't want to be your little secret. You can follow us all on Twitter as well. Stubbsy is at Mike Stubbsy. Nailz is at Mac Shanks. I'm at Colm_Ahern. And of course, God is a Geek is also on Twitter at God is a Geek, on Facebook, facebook.com/God is a Geek, YouTube, youtube.com/God is a Geek, and GodIsAGeek.com itself for all of your news, reviews, podcasts, opinion pieces, esports. What am I missing? Videos. Everything in terms of video games, it's all on GodIsAGeek.com. And lads, this is my least favourite part of the show, where we have to bid the listener farewell, because if we could do a 24-hour podcast every day, it would just make me beam from ear to ear. But yes, we do have to bid farewell. So say goodbye, Mike Stubbsy.
Slán go fóill.
Say goodbye. Say goodbye, Dan Naylor.
Talk to you later.
Say goodbye, Colm. Slán go fóill.